All right, what's your name and what'd you do?
My name is Nathan Baker, and I top 16 Mobile, Alabama Regional with Snake Eye Fiendsmith Azamina. It's a 44 card list, pretty standard for the most part. There's a couple things I would change and talk about, but let's get to it. Played the one Ash, one Poplar. Played double Oak. Pretty standard here, but the recursion off of Oak, this is probably one of the best follow-up cards in the game, especially with him hitting these two cards. I feel like the double Oak is mandatory, especially off the Reborn, off of Flamberge. This card is insane. Played the 3 Bonfire. The Bricks. I drew these cards way too much, but you know, it happens, I guess. 3 Witch, 3 Wanted. The 1 OSS, the 1 Temple. Got the Azamina-ish stuff. 1 Hollowed, 1 Deception. I played 1 Deception because I felt like opening multiples of this card is absolutely awful. Also, you never really need 2 of this card with the way it recycles itself from graveyard, so I just never felt like it was needed. Onto the Fiendsmith stuff. Obviously the 1 Lurie. Played 1 Lacrima, double Engraver. I decided to play 2 Engraver because sometimes if you open one and then you have nothing to pitch off of the Lacrima, which feels awful. I decided to play the Lacrima because it makes this a sufficient engine by itself, and it gives you a line of play where if you open up like just Lacrima normal summon, you can still get to your Desiree, which is some type of interruption. Hopefully you have a hand traps to back it up past that point, and it can win games. I won 2 games off of just nothing but Desiree. 1 Tract, obviously, and that is it for the Fiendsmith cards. I played the 1 Ghost Ogre. I decided to play the 1 Ghost Ogre because I felt like if my Deception ever gets ogred, I'm going so neg, it hurts so much that I felt, because I am playing cross out, I felt like being able to cross out this card was a very good option. 3 Ash, 3 Fulos. This card's broken. 2 Veiler. I probably should have played the 3rd Veiler here, especially because Imperm was probably the best hand trap in the event for me. It was the most consistent, obviously, and I was super scared of Talents going to the event, so that's why I was like kind of skeptical on Veiler. But I only ran into 1 Talents the entire event, which doesn't say that you should always play this card, but I feel like if Imperm is overperforming, then Veiler is obviously a very good card, and I don't play the Impulse in this deck, so. Double Nib. I decided to play Double Nib here because Nib plus Imperm just makes your opponent lose a lot of times, especially if you're playing like the Fire King deck or you're playing Snake Eye Azamina, and they have to like go Desiree to negate their princess. You just wait to the end of the turn, Nib Imperm, and you're gonna win the game. 1 Called By. This card's mandatory right now in my opinion because of Fualos being in the meta, and that Fualos absolutely kills this deck. You don't really end on anything except for an IP or Fucho if you've sided in. So I feel like Called By is super mandatory for that and Shifter. I did play the 3 Crossouts. I wanted to make my deck as best as I possibly could going first, which I felt like being able to place through certain hand traps. Crossout is crazy. Crossing out Fualos. The amount of times I crossed out Fualos in this event's actually nuts. I didn't really see Called By a whole lot, and I didn't see any Shifter decks, you know, which is amazing. But crossing out Fualos, you have to be able to do it, I think, in this meta. And then the 1 Azarin. I was respecting the mirror a lot and also Tempai a lot through this regional, so I built my deck a lot to cater to the mirror and Tempai. So even in the mirror, crossout's really good, and in the mirror, Azarin stops Black Witch. They get no value. It's really, really good.
Speaking of matchups, what were your matchups?
I played 2 mirrors, 1 FK, a Pearly, invoked Azamina, which was a really cool deck. I was not expecting that deck to be real at all when he went Magical Meltdown. The deck was very real, actually. And let's see, Pearly, 3, and I played 2 Tempais as well.
Do extra next?
Yeah, I'll do extra. Let's sort this. So I guess first card, we'll talk about Nightmare Phoenix. I did play the Nightmare Phoenix. I opted to play this card for the Zealantis Raging Phoenix OTK. I actually never really summoned this card to pop the back row, which I know is a very, very real effect. My deck plays through back row decently well unless it's a Floodgate. So if it's like an Imperm set or something like that, I never really summoned this card to get around the back row. I summoned it for this OTK line. Being able to, if they have no bodies, if they control no bodies, being able to OTK with this, pop this, and summon this is really good. You just OTK out of nowhere. People don't really expect it. Obviously, the 1 Hida. 1 Rabbit. SP. IP. 1 Princess. I played the 1 Anima in this event. I think Anima is pretty much mandatory at this point, but I'll just go over it a little bit. Being able to extend your plays if your Poplar gets impermed or Veilered or any effect negate is really good. So being able to pull up the Diabell Star with Temple and then be able to get in your Fiendsmith line, so then you have something to get around your opponent or something to interact with your opponent, is really, really good. Obviously I played the Fiendsmith stuff. The 1 Moon, Requiem, Desiree, and Sequence. I'll go over a little bit why I did not play Necroquip and I did not play Wave King. So Necroquip, I think, is super redundant right now with Lacrima being a card. It makes Fiendsmith a sustainable engine by itself. You don't need Lacrima to get into your sequence for like the extra bodies. And then I did not play the Wave King because 95% of the time I just want to make this card anyway. I think this card's way better. It handles a lot more matchups. This card's a lot scarier in my opinion. It's a lot harder to out. Your opponent just has 1 Imperm, they out your Caesar. Caesar never mattered. And then obviously I played the Omni and I played the Searcher.
Card's crazy.
As for side deck, I played the 1 Fucho. We talked about this a little bit a second ago. If I get Fualos or I get Shifted, this is my only way to really play. Where, yeah, I can't set up IP, but if they have 1 Board Breaker, 1 Imperm, you just hard lose. It doesn't matter.
Tinbot can't out it either.
Yeah, Tempai can't out it. A lot of decks can't out this card. So then you'll just sit on this card for a turn with your follow-up in hand, let whatever effect they have wear off, whether it's Shifter or the Fualos, and you'll most likely win if they don't kill you. Agave, I feel like you have to have a time card. If you don't have a time card, you just lose in time and you cry about it. 3 Cosmic Cyclone. This card is almost mandatory in every side deck to me. Being able to out Floodgates or other like impactful cards, Deception, Fire King Island. So many options for this card to hit. 3 Perillia. This card handles so many matchups where if Fualos does not handle the matchup Aurelia is almost guaranteed to. I know there's a couple where it doesn't, but if Fualas doesn't hit it, this card will. 3 Bestials. I did not really side these in. I was respecting the mirror a lot more than I think I should have, because there was a lot of really weird decks at this regional. There's also a lot of Chimera at this regional, which you would think that this card would be really, really, really good against it. I did not play Chimera the whole day, so I didn't actually, this card never did anything for me. 3 Barrier. This is for obviously respecting the Tempai matchup, respecting the Centurion matchup, which are both very, very real. That's also something I forgot about Cosmic. Cosmic handling Centurion's field spell, they just lose the game. Barrier for the Tempai matchup, for Centurion, somewhat in the mirror for the Snake Eye Fiendsmith Azamina. I do kind of like it in the mirror. And I also played the 1 Thrust. Thrusting for Barrier is obviously really good, but during one of my matches, what I actually had to do was I thrusted for Bonfire, and it won me the game. In terms of anything I would change for the deck, I probably wouldn't have played the Bestials. I don't think they're impactful enough in this format, and they're also not... just like, they don't really get me any advantage, so I really don't like them. Also, they just don't hit it. Like, I'd much rather side in pretty much all day. What I was siding in going second was these. These are like mandatory, my 6 side cards. These cards hit so much, and then allowed me to play through a lot of boards where I wish these were like something like Judgment, where it gave me Judgment or Strike or something like that, where it gave me like another option of going first and protecting my board a little more, or just being able to stop my opponent from playing. Other than that, in the main deck, I think I would have played 1 Droll or 2 Drolls for something. I'm not really sure what I would cut. Maybe like the Ogre. Nobody really ogred me all day, so having the cross out for Ogre I don't think mattered, but that's like, hindsight's 2020. But I think I should have played Droll to be able to cross it out. I did lose a match based off of just Droll. He game 1 Drolled me, game 2 Drolled me, and I had no plays through it. And I was not respecting that card, because normally this deck just doesn't care. But overall, I'm really happy with the way the deck played. I wouldn't change a whole lot about it. And we finally broke the curse.
Are there any shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, of course. We'll go shout out to Big Mike, shout out to Eric, shout out to Alex, shout out to the man behind the camera, Caleb, my boy. Shout out to Justin, shout out to Stuart, shout out to Clay. Shout out to anybody from the Huntsville community that's helped me play test throughout the deck, because anybody in the community knows that I worked my butt off to play this deck. So to top with it, it felt really good. It made everything worth it.
All right, man. Well, congrats on the top.
Thank you.